Hey, I made a couple other videos the last couple days about my ATC camper, and I showed a little bit on one to putting some struts up and walk around, and the next video a little bit about putting some struts up and a walk around. So this one I tried to just do the struts. I'd already put them up, but I took them all down to try to show you how I did it, and I forgot to seal the front ones. So that was another thing. So hope this video helps. I'm not saying this is how to do it. This is how I did it. It goes up and it comes down, so it's working for me. I had a hard time finding the video about how to do it, and my videography is terrible. I have bad coordination. I can't do one thing with one hand and something with the other. So the videoing is crappy, but hopefully it'll help you out. All right, thanks. All right, I took all my struts down because I realized I didn't really show how I did it. Plus I needed to seal in the front. So this is what I'm using, or did use. I act like I'm doing it again. A drill to pre-drill. Screw my screws in. These are the flat mounts I got from Amazon, and my bag doesn't have the number on it, but it just said flat mount strut brackets. That's what I'm using for the front on all four places, and then the offset is what I'm using on the bottom of the back, and I got it from Integrity RV right there. There's my number 10 3¼ screws, a set, some degreaser, and some marine sealant. So what I did for the front, so the top has to be up, or I put it up anyway, maybe it doesn't need to be. All right, so I got my strut with the mounts on it. You have to excuse me, I'm trying to film and climb a ladder and I don't have good balance. All right, so what I did was I put it right there because I didn't want to move my latches. Now I came down here and then I saw where it fit, and that's where it came to there, and that's where it fit up top. That's why I put my mounts on first. Actually, I had this away there, and then I came down to the bottom and saw where it, and just fit it. It was easier for me to do that than trying to measure and then compress the strut to get it on. That's why I did it that way, and that's really where it needed to be, because it won't go any further. If I do it any further to the middle, well, I could have, it'd have been a little further this way. I didn't want to mess up my sticker, so that's where I put it. And I did have to remove one screw right there, and then I held this up here and marked it, and then I drilled it. So what I'm going to do now is seal my holes, because I didn't do that to start with, and this is on the front, so it certainly needs to be. And down here where it came, where the right place was, where the top fit and the bottom fit, and I marked it and drilled it. So I'm going to try to get some of that old sealant off. It probably won't come, but anyway, I'm going to seal those holes, and I'm doing that on the other side. And on that side, I had to remove one screw, but my bracket fit right back up there in that screw hole, so I only had to drill one over there. So I held that up the same way, saw where it fit down here, marked it, and drilled. All right, I'm going to show that one more time on this side. So I had to remove that screw. My bracket fit perfect right up against my clamp, so I had to drill just one hole. I put it there. Hold on, sorry. I'm not coordinated enough to do this one hand. So I put my bracket at the top where it fit. Sorry, there. And while I held that there, I put this one where it fit. So it can only fit really one way. If you keep going this way, it's going to come down too far up there. So I put it where I wanted it, next to the bracket there, and then held it right there. I'm sorry, I know this video is crappy. I can't do it by myself. But anyway, that's where it fit. That's why I put the mounts on first, so I wouldn't be guesstimating and then having to compress the strut and trying to make it fit on the bracket. This is on the front though. All right, I'm going to seal my holes. This is where I took the original screw out. It just happened to be in the right spot. This is the one that I made after I marked my bracket. This is where I marked and already drilled. Well, I should have pre-drilled. I did not, but like I said, I've already had my struts up, but I took them off too because I forgot to seal all this really well, and I wanted to try to make a better video of how I did my struts. So now sealing these. This is where the original one was, so I'm sealing that good, and when I put the bracket up there, it should push it on in. That's the two that I made. These are the two at the bottom where the bracket's already been. All right, this is what I'm using, is marine grade silicone sealant. This may or may not be right, but it's what I got. All right, putting my bracket up. Maybe. Just gonna get it started. All right, I couldn't do this and film at the same time. So I screwed my bracket in there with all the sealant behind it and run my sealant bead around the top. All right, I'm getting 2 new screws, and I did use washers for these because these holes there are a little big, so I'm putting washers. Maybe overkill, but it makes me feel better one way or the other. All right, let's see if I can do this one-handed. Probably not, but we're gonna try. All right. All right, so that's gonna go there, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna need a bigger screw since I took these out. I may have stripped the hole, but it seems like it's doing okay right now, so we're gonna try it. And I guess if it did, then I'll have to go one size above a 10. And it's spinning a little bit, so I may have to. Yeah, because it's not even. All right. Well, I screwed myself up by taking them back off, but I needed to seal. So I'm going to have to get, I guess, a 12 screw to put in there because I've stripped it, putting the 10 in and taking it back out. But I'm going to leave it like that for right now, just to show you how to do it. All right, I did the same thing on the passenger side, and actually those two held fine. I'm marking the ones I need to come back with a bigger screw. That one stripped a little bit. Anyway, the fat part of the strut needs to go to the top. And that's how I did the front of mine. I need to clean up my seal a little bit and go back over it, but I'll do that after I screw everything back down again. There you go. That's the front. I put the mounts on before so I can measure and see without having to measure with the tape and then trying to compress the strut and get it on the ball, or take a chance of it being too far away. All right, I took the ones off that I had on so I can show you. I'm just trying to get some of the old sealant off using some degreaser. I'm just trying to get it as clean as I can, and then I will reseal it. Some metal shavings in that because I pre-drilled. I remembered to pre-drill this time when I put these up yesterday. But I forgot to seal the front ones well, so I'm taking them down to be sure and seal good and to try to show you better how I did it, because I had a hard time finding a video. There was one from 4-Wheel Camper. All right, so while I'm up here, I emailed ATC, and Chad answered me pretty quick and said that they suggest from 10 to 12 inches from there, from the corner in. So that's 10 and that's 12. And the reason that I put it there, I could have put it more toward the corner, and maybe I should have, but I didn't. I just went ahead. I wanted these to kind of be centered, and this is the center here. Let me shut the door and show you. This is not the center. This is not centered in the door, and the door is not centered in the back. This is the center, follows this seam, follows that seam up there. So I put these where I wanted them. First, I had removed this screw because I thought I was going to put the mount in that track. I probably can't do this one-handed again. Shit. All right, let me start this over, this part. So this is my mount. This is the offset mount. It came from Integrity RV. First, I removed that screw initially because I thought I was going to put it there. And maybe I still should have, but I decided not to. I put it down on the bottom rail. So I sealed, put that screw back. I centered these. Well, I had the mount on the strut. Remember, that part goes up. And I had both my hands when I was doing this. So I had that up there flat. And then I kind of measured where I thought this needed to be. And it's not, I can't do it right because I'm only using one hand. Anyway, so I had it together and measured to see, and I marked it with a pencil. Then I pre-drilled. Then I took the bottom mount off, this part. And then I put it there. And I did it on both sides. So I'm going to do that right now. I got my two bottom mounts up. I did seal behind them. It's bright out here. I can't tell if that's focused or not. I did seal behind them. This is number 10, 3/4 screws. I would suggest, I use bigger screws. These, the original ones are a little bit smaller. Than maybe number 6, or I'm sorry, number 8. Probably number 8. But I went with bigger ones to start with. And probably what I should have done is just, since I was making new holes, is to use the number 8. That way, if something happened, I could go to number 10. And if something happened, go up to number 12. But I started with number 10. And on the front, the ones I just took down to show you, some of those have strips. I'm going to have to go up to number 12. And I wish that I probably just would have started smaller. But I didn't. Now, if you're screwing into a hole that's already there, and if this is a number 8, then you should probably go on up to number 10. But however, these took fine. They didn't strip out, so I think they're going to be fine. All right, got my bottom mounts on. Now I'm going to attach the strut to the bottom mount so that when I attach it to the top, it's already together. All right, now I'm ready to put the top on. Can't see. There we go. All right, let me get my screw. I'm using new screws because I said I took these off earlier. I'm going to try to just get it started. And the hole already there. So if you were doing this for the first time, once I put the bottom on, and you got I already have my mount on. I brought it right up. This is what I did when first time I put it on. I brought it right up here, just kind of got it kind of flat. I'm not being so precise. And I marked each hole, and I pre-drilled a little hole, not a big one, enough to get the screw started. All right, so that one is stripped. I'll have to redo it with a big one. That one's good. So I did pre-drill a little bit, enough to get the screw started, and then screwed it in. And it's already together. And it's right. It's in the right spot. So But because I took that screw out earlier to redo the show, I'll have to put probably a number 12 in that one because it stripped a little bit. It would be okay. I don't know. I may try it for a little while and then see what happens. If you can see this or not. I'm in South Mississippi. It is 87 degrees. Pretty cool today. 87 degrees. Humidity is only 70%. So you see I'm sweating down. You can imagine what it's like when it's 90 and humidity is 70 and 80. All right, so I'm going to, that just slides on there. Put your screwdriver under that little lip a little bit, but be sure it sets back like it's supposed to be. All right, this is letting it down with the struts on. So I have to pull it a little bit, the front one. These are 30-pound struts. And I have to pull it a little harder than I think I should have to, but anyway. That's the front. And letting the back down. So I do have to pull it. There it goes. That's it. All right, this is putting the top up with the struts on. All right, that's the back. And the front. Much easier with the struts.